Some people said Rush should never perform again after Neil Peart's death. Others believed the music deserved one more heartbeat. But no one was prepared for the moment that would leave an entire arena fighting back tears. For more than a decade, it seemed impossible. Rush had played what everyone assumed was their final concert in 2015. Then, in 2020, legendary drummer and lyricist Neil Peart passed away after battling brain cancer. To millions of fans, Rush wasn't just on hiatus, it was over. Geddy Lee and Lifeson felt the same. Neil wasn't simply their drummer, he was their brother, their creative partner, and, as Geddy later admitted, irreplaceable. Every reunion rumor was met with the same response: without Neil, there could never truly be Rush again. Then something changed. Years after Neil's passing, the two surviving members quietly began playing together again. What started as casual jam sessions slowly became something much bigger, a chance not to replace Neil, but to celebrate everything the three of them had built over more than 50 years. With the support of Neil's widow, Carrie, and daughter, Olivia, the impossible suddenly became reality. The 50-something tour was announced. But no announcement could prepare fans for the emotional moment that would unfold when the lights finally went down. When the opening night finally arrived, the excitement was unlike anything Rush fans had experienced in more than a decade. Thousands packed the arena, knowing this wasn't just another concert, it was a celebration of a band that had survived retirement, unimaginable loss, and years of silence. Before a single song was played, Geddy Lee made it clear why they were there. This wasn't about replacing Neil Peart, it was about honoring him. He had already admitted that Neil was irreplaceable, and that truth hung over every note of the evening. Standing behind the drums was Anika Nilles, the acclaimed German drummer personally chosen to help carry the music forward. She never tried to imitate Neil. Instead, she approached every song with deep respect, even keeping Neil's drumsticks on her riser as a quiet tribute throughout the performances. As the first familiar chords echoed through the arena, fans rose to their feet. Some cheered, others simply cried. It wasn't just nostalgia. It was the realization that a band many believed they would never see again was standing in front of them once more. And then, halfway through the show, something happened that no one in the audience was emotionally prepared for. Then came the song that changed the atmosphere completely. As the opening notes of Time Stand Still filled the arena, the crowd instantly understood this wasn't just another performance. The song had always carried emotional weight, but on the 50-something tour, it became something even more powerful, a heartfelt tribute to Neil Peart and the decades he shared with Geddy Lee and Lifeson. To make the moment even more unforgettable, original guest vocalist Amy Mann joined the band on stage. Her return connected the audience to the song's original 1987 recording, while giving it an entirely new meaning in Neil's absence. Fans stood shoulder to shoulder, many singing through tears as photos and memories of Rush's incredible journey flashed across the screens. Geddy didn't need a long speech. The music said everything. It wasn't about looking back with sadness. It was about gratitude for the songs, the friendship, and the legacy Neil left behind. In that moment, thousands of voices became one, proving that although Neil's seat could never truly be filled, his spirit still echoed through every lyric, every drum beat, and every person in the building. But the night's most unforgettable surprise was still waiting. As the concert moved toward its final stretch, the emotion inside the arena only grew stronger. Fans had expected incredible music. What they didn't expect was the overwhelming feeling that this was more than a reunion. It was a farewell, a celebration, and a thank you all at once. One of the most touching parts of the tour wasn't even on stage. Before the band committed to returning, Geddy Lee and Lifeson made sure they had the blessing of Neil Peart's family. According to the band, Neil's widow, Carrie, and his daughter Olivia supported the idea of celebrating Rush's music rather than letting it fade into silence. That support gave the surviving members the confidence to move forward, not by replacing Neil, but by honoring everything they had built together over 5 decades. You could feel that respect in every detail. There were no attempts to rewrite history or pretend the loss hadn't happened. Instead, every performance acknowledged the empty space Neil left behind while reminding everyone why his legacy continues to inspire generations of musicians. And just when fans thought the night couldn't become any more emotional, the final songs brought an ending that no one inside the arena would ever forget. As the final songs echoed through the arena, the energy shifted once again. The loud cheers gave way to something quieter, an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Fans weren't just applauding a performance, they were thanking two lifelong friends who had found the strength to return to the stage after unimaginable loss. When the music stopped, Geddy Lee and Lifeson stood side by side, taking in the standing ovation that seemed to last forever. They looked out at thousands of fans who had supported Rush through every era, from small club shows in the 1970s to sold-out arenas around the world. It was a reminder that the bond between the band and its audience had never been broken. Throughout the tour, Geddy and Alex repeatedly emphasized that this wasn't about starting a new chapter without Neil. It was about celebrating the story the three of them wrote together. Every song became a tribute to the drummer whose lyrics, creativity, and friendship helped shape one of rock's most respected bands. But before the lights went out for the final time, one last emotional moment would leave fans with a memory they would carry for the rest of their lives. As the house lights slowly came up, many fans stayed where they were. No one seemed eager to leave. They had witnessed something far greater than a rock concert. They had watched two lifelong friends honor the memory of the third member who helped shape one of the greatest bands in rock history. The 50-something tour wasn't about proving that Rush could continue as if nothing had changed. It was about acknowledging that some losses can never be replaced, and that the best way to honor a friend is to keep the music alive with honesty and respect. For Geddy Lee and Lifeson, every standing ovation carried a deeper meaning. It wasn't just applause for the night's performance. It was a thank you for decades of unforgettable songs, fearless musicianship, and the bond the three members of Rush built over more than 50 years. Neil Peart may no longer be behind the drum kit, but his influence lives on in every lyric he wrote, every rhythm he created, and every fan whose life was changed by Rush's music. His legacy remains inseparable from the band's story. And perhaps that's why the most emotional moment of the 50-something tour wasn't a single song or speech. It was the realization that while legends may leave the stage, their impact never truly disappears. If Rush taught the world anything, it's this: great music can outlive time, loss, and even goodbye.